Hello again and welcome back to my channel. My name is VV and okay, I have to apologise first. I got a few comments last week saying that the comparison between a 3090 and Stadia is an unfair comparison, and whilst Stadia held up pretty well, it's really unfair to compare the two. So I took all of that on board, and this week I've decided to do a comparison video of the 3090 to a mobile phone. Yes, that's right, I am running Cyberpunk 2077 on a Pixel 4 XL Android phone. To make it fair as well, we're going to be running both games on 1080p, and the settings for Pixel XL are going to be on the maximum I can get those, and the PC is also going to be on the maximum. I did just run through the settings on screen for you, so you can feel free to check those out, or check the description for the specification of the PC. I'm going to do the Corpo life path this time, and we're only going to be doing the opening again. This is just so we can do a better comparison, and so it doesn't look the same as last time. I'm also going to look to sync up all of the major button inputs, so for any text selection you may notice that the screen will freeze on a few occasions. That's perfectly fine, it's just because I've edited the video down to make sure that they're all simultaneous, so that we can get the best quality video to you today. I'm also going to be fast forwarding through a few of the areas just to cut down the length of the video because I don't want it to go on forever, and I'm not going to be talking over the entire thing. As with last time, we're going to start with a loading comparison. So I've synced up again the button press for this so we can see how fast Stadia loads on a mobile phone compared to on my PC. The load time shouldn't be massively different because it's not my mobile phone actually doing the loading, it's again the Stadia servers. As with last time, you can see that my computer does load just a little bit faster than Stadia, but again it's not a massive difference. So the scene opens in the bathroom, we're looking in a mirror, and V is pretty grim. Don't think she's very well, she's probably taking too many pills or something. But yeah, we're taking a look at the graphics here, and you can probably see that there is just slightly more detail in the left-hand picture. That being said, the text is actually surprisingly legible on the Stadia version, and even though it's a larger image on your screen, because again it's 1080p and it's bumped up to whatever size screen you had, when I was playing the game I actually found it surprisingly legible. And in my last video I did comment that I didn't think it would be playable on the mobile phone because obviously the text would be too small, but no, it's actually pretty legible, so it's not so much of a problem, which is good news for all of you mobile gamers out there. It does mean that also I'll be able to play on my lunch break when I'm at work, which for me is definitely a win.
What's going on?
As we exit the bathroom, this is where we're going to notice the first major difference between the two versions of the game. On PC, the lighting is just a lot better than that of Stadia. The reflections look a lot crisper, the light is diffused better, and it doesn't look as washed out. Having said that, it doesn't look as bad when you're actually looking on the phone, because it's a smaller screen, so you don't notice the details as much, but again I'm just being a little bit nitpicky, because after all, this is a comparison video. As we exit the lift in a moment, I'm going to freeze the image for just a second so that you can take a look at the comparison on the left hand side here. So hopefully what you notice is actually there's a lot more detail in the PC version than there is in the Stadia version, especially in moving at motion. That's mostly due to the fact that Stadia has to compress the image before sending it through, and then on my end it also has to be decompressed, so you are losing a little bit of quality in that process. As we sit down to talk to Jenkins, we're going to take a look at the table in front of us. You'll notice that on the PC version the texture is just a little bit crisper, whereas you're getting a little bit of loss of detail on the Stadia version. Again, it's on a mobile phone, so it's on a smaller screen, so you don't really notice it again when you're looking at your phone. When I zoom in on these little graphs that you see just floating across, again I noticed that the definition on the PC version was better than that on the mobile phone, but again I'm nitpicking because you know, it's surprising how well it actually runs on a mobile phone. I believe actually when I did the previous comparison video, I said that it would probably be unplayable on mobile, and unfortunately I do have to take that back. I've just proven myself wrong, as I do think it's very playable on mobile phone. You can not notice all the differences that I'm pointing out to you now when you're actually playing it. You do notice some of the things like the reflections, again, but it's the same as you'd notice when you're playing it PC versus Stadia. If you haven't seen my previous video, by the way, I'd recommend going to watch it, because I do play the game in 4K on both 3090 and on a Chrome browser. It's a really interesting comparison between the two, and it'll put a lot of context to what I'm talking about here today. This is one of the most visually impressive areas of the comparison. We're going to take a fly through the city now in a floating car, after obviously having taken a drink of champagne, because it's free, and if you're offered free champagne, you take it, let's face it. What I want you to pay attention to actually is in a moment we're going to go past a building that's going to be basically a block black colour. You'll notice that actually on the mobile version, and this is true of the other Stadia versions as well, that you start to see blocks of black as opposed to it being a continuous gradient. The reason for that is when it's doing its compression, to try to save on the amount of detail it has to send, it basically says, oh well, this area is pretty much all the same colour, so I'm just going to tell you it's the same colour, so you'll see it right now on screen, on the left. It's not so much of a problem that, again, you don't notice it when you're moving at pace as much, and you won't notice it on the smaller screen. It's just something that's worth pointing out as a difference between the two. But on the left here as well has less detail on the mobile phone version than it does on the PC version. Again, a small nitpick, but it is noticeable, so it's something worth pointing out. I promise you I am not obsessed with ray tracing, but honestly it's one of my favourite things about the RTX graphics cards. If you look at the guy on the right's shiny trousers, they just look a lot better on the PC. The light's actually scattering off it naturally, and I definitely want a pair of those trousers. I would look fabulous in those trousers. I love Lizzie's bar. It's so beautiful to look at. You get a lot of lighting effects here, you get a lot of smoke particle effects, and it's again surprising at how well the mobile phone version of this really holds up when you compare it to the PC. It's absolutely mind-boggling the fact that this is playing on a Pixel 4 XL Android mobile phone. You can play it on most mobile phones, and now you can actually play on iOS, because there is an iOS beta. There wasn't when the last video was launched, but they have launched that in the meantime. And yeah, it's just crazy. Honestly, I'm blown away. And it does look better when it's on the smaller screen, because obviously you're not going to see all the detail, because the pixels are much denser essentially on there. Just going to slowly pan the room for you now on both versions, just so you can see a nice side by side and take a look at all the different details and lighting effects. Now that's over, let's go and talk to my boy Jackie. Yo, what up? Oh, that's cringeworthy. Should probably delete that, but I'll leave it in.
Good to see you too, Jack. How you been?
I'm going to close out the video with a comparison of the flash forward cutscene in its entirety, comparing PC obviously on the mobile phone. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel and lets me know that you like what we're doing. Also, please leave a comment below and give me any suggestions for future videos, and if you think of anything I can improve, please let me know. I do read the comments and I do act upon any feedback. You'll notice that this video has been done as a side-by-side, as that was comment on the last video. This was the preferred format. In the video description is also a link to my Just Giving page for Versus Arthritis. It's a charity that I care about personally and donate to on a monthly basis. I'm not accepting donations to myself, but if you enjoy my content, or even if you're not, then please consider supporting the great charity. Anyway, again, thank you for watching this video. I'm just going to leave this to play out. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.
First, NC's Legends. Know where you'll find most of them? The graveyard. Matters not where you're from. Matters not where you start. What matters here is the walk you walk. In Night City, the city of dreams.
So both versions of the game are running at 1080p, and I have the So with that being said, I'm going to just leave you now with the person entering blah 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 blah. The different scratches, the texture, F2 to make pause, why have I paused? I can't think of wordiness. Wordiness don't be like that. Stop Oh, you're still here. Well, should probably leave now. Yeah, it's slightly awkward. Bye.